three elements stand out in Isabella's work. First one is space. Space and its proper relation to form. The second is time. And the third one, I would say, is architecture. What is worthy to note about Isabella's work is the fact that these three elements actually work together, they fit together perfectly, and so it would be sort of not exactly right to consider the three of them separately, because all the three of them, space, time and architecture, which is the development of form in space, work perfectly together. It is also special to consider and worth to note the fact that Isabella first of all, lives and works in Milan, and she formed in Milan. She studied architecture, and architecture is one of the most important characters of the city of Milan. But apart from that, the tradition, the artistic tradition and the artistic research connected to Milan is a research that has to do with exactly space and time, starting from futurism at the beginning of the last century, and then developing in the works of artists such as Lucio Fontana, and then later in the 60s and 70s with some artists like Luciano Fabro that actually developed a special idea of space. There's a great work by Bruce Nauman, and this work is named Mapping the Studio. And it's the ability of the artist to map the space around him. And the work by Isabella actually moves in the same direction. A direction which involves, again, form and also a sort of fertile ambiguity and precariousness of form. You can see that the forms and the shapes are always a little bit unstable. And so there's a special research on the equilibrium and on the balance. And I would say that this is what actually characterizes the most her sculpture, because it's a way of considering sculpture in its progress. The forms and the shapes develop in the space and are never closed, are sort of never finished. Something that involves also the idea of Brancusi, the infinity of the column by Brancusi is the infinity of space. And this is also the infinity of space that you can find in the works by Lucio Fontana, and you can find also it in the sculptures by Isabella, Angelo Antoni Gagger. I would like to say, to end this short presentation, I would like to say that this idea of developing form into space, in her case, is an idea that involves also body, because these sculptures are not just minimal, elementary forms, but have something to do with body and the development of body in the space, which is something that continues to grow and actually develops in a way that finds its balance, again, in a form of instability, but that this instability is exactly what these sculptures are about, that is life.